your story can be told in different ways across different channels with different mediums. So for me, it's how do you take those overlying themes, goals, strategies for your brand and leverage visuals to really pull that through.
What I'm trying to get clients to do now is really think about, you have a budget for print, you have a budget for radio or television, and you have to have a budget for social. But they all need to work together and not separately.
Which channels do you use to get to the right people? I think a lot of brands think they've got to get to the CEO, but a lot of CEOs are not on social. And I had this flashing thought the other day. What about these millennials that are actually the business managers of the CEOs? CEOs are looking to them for advice, and they'll be asked, so what did you see that was interesting? What should we invest in? What should we look at? So I think a lot of companies are missing a trick, that the millennials, the Gen X's, Gen Ys, that are actively using these networks may not have the budget, but they have the ear of the C-suite.
We like to talk about paid, earned, and owned, but there is one other one that makes our model sound like the Mexican currency. It's S for shared. It's peso. And so it's an easy way to describe how we end up creating these campaigns for our clients. And so paid is very important. It's become more of an important part of what we do. Even though we're a PR agency, we're actually buying a lot of paid social ourselves, which is kind of fun, right? Earned is, our bread and butter. We try to get people to talk about things. Shared, gosh, it's engagement, right? So how do we figure out how to get more people to communicate on our behalf? And then owned is working with our existing tools, like how do we get more people to come to a website? It's across all of those different areas of paid, earned, shared, and owned. And so we look at all of those different measurements on a day-to-day basis, and we can course correct across peso.
Just because there are all these different places doesn't mean that your company necessarily has to be in every single one of them. So you have to be smart about deciding where you're going to be and where you want to get your message out. And you also have to be smart about how that message is tailored to each individual platform.
What I think companies need is literally a dashboard to say, this is how my campaign's doing right now on various channels. Because famously it was said that half of all advertising is wasted, you just don't know which half. I think today it's very true, that half the channels I'm using are wasted. I'm just not sure what channel. I think though it is a bit of a pray and spray that people are doing. They're trying to get all the messages out there through as many channels as possible. And I think the challenge for the CMO is, can they come up to speed with the nuances of each channel? That's why I think the CEOs and the CMOs of the future are going to be so digitally savvy, they won't have to ask for this to happen, they'll just assume it is.